Carlos. I am a professor of highway design at the University of Costa Rica. In our textbooks, the safety conditions are often left out because fundamental importance is only given to the capacity of our roads. Their concern is that the largest number of vehicles may travel without giving the necessary importance to road safety.
I think that the iRAP program is one of the best programs that we came across, since we were thinking of upgrading the safety in our roads, and this program will provide us with great tools in order to do so. This program will help our decision to go and take care of the roads, but with technicians to assess the designs that we already have.
Our priorities for the developing world are to take that capability we've created in 3 continents in the developed world and roll it out so that we cover 6 continents, including the developing world. So the Australasian team will be working in Malaysia and India, the European team will be working in Africa, and the team in North America will be working throughout Latin America. And of course we must grow the capability of the local automobile clubs and the local ministries working in partnership in all the countries that we operate in.
Clearly it is a developmental issue, because we are losing, in Kenya for instance, we are losing about $50 million US every year. The hospitals are fully packed with the casualties, so the high time that the government took this one very seriously and not casually. Where we are now, I think the developed countries were there 30-40 years ago, and they came out of it for having definite programs and living to them.
It's something now, I think, that has become politically much more important than it was, and the benefits to the politicians who get involved are now significant, all of which leads one to think that in the same way as Euro NCAP has changed the way in which the cars were built, I hope now that this change of attitude among the politicians will result in other changes, particularly the way the roads are managed and all the different things that go together to make a safe road.
The problem in developing countries as well as in India is that there is not a development of a road user culture, because there has been a shortcoming in the area of road and traffic engineering. In a recent survey done by my organization, we found that as much as 74% of the traffic control devices like traffic signals, road markings and road signages are not as per standards, which is very dangerous.
Every crash happens because a human being makes a mistake reading the road. What clear road layouts explain is what road users are expected to do, and without them there can be no safety culture and no law for police to enforce.
100,000 people dying, 1.27 million serious injuries, and nobody taking the responsibility of it. And the problem is growing every day. The amount of tragedy and the injury and the pain and the grief what the families are going through, when it is impossible to imagine. The large number of fatalities, the young people, can you imagine what would happen to their families? What would happen to the parents whose children are dying? It is unimaginable. This pain and grief we have not been able to account, and we'll never be able to account for. We say $12.8 billion a social loss, all calculated, but pain and grief is not calculated. It is much beyond our thinking. Our entire effort is actually to build a tomorrow where somebody is responsible. Once you make somebody responsible for what is happening, there is a chance.
What we have in the world is a recognition that road safety is a global development priority. It's costing low and middle income countries a considerable amount of their resources. We've got UN resolutions that are saying the global community should act and act immediately on this problem and help countries address it. What we're lacking relative to other major public health problems like tuberculosis or malaria is the level of resources available to help countries deal with the problem. Road safety should be an integral part of any road infrastructure activity. The protective features of a roading environment should have a high priority put on them, particularly for vulnerable users, pedestrians and cyclists, motorcyclists.
What we have to do is get organised, and it means getting agencies working in different sectors, all aiming at the same target, all following programmes that are going to deliver the saving of life on the roads. Putting in pavements, putting in crossing points, making sure the junction layouts are safe, making sure there is safety fencing when there are trees and dangerous obstacles and cliff edges to fall over. These are worthwhile projects, and the International Road Assessment Programme is trying to show the value of these different types of projects so that all the leadership of the road engineering profession and the road policymakers and the ministers understand that they can spend their money to save lives and get high returns.